it's a very, very inspiring to see. There are many yeshivot, you're right. There's a lot of things to see. Positive. We just came from the valley. We have many of our Talmidim from the yeshiva since 1974. Rabbi Cohn should live be well. You see the growth of Torah. To be honest, as much as you believe, there's always a moment of doubt. There's always a moment of doubt. And the person needs a lot of chizuk, and you get chizuk when you see that it's true. You see the impact of Torah, on the Ashkenazi community, on the Sephardic community, on generations, on a very challenged generation. Today we live in a very, very challenged time. Today we live in a world that is so insane. What was basic, normal, healthy lives today is being questioned. I travel across the country and I try to talk to people about building Torah. I was in a city called Tampa, Florida. And I see, if Shem should forgive me, there's people there, sitting there, talking about Torah. They're not dressed properly. There's a mother, Israeli, Sephardic lady, holding a black baby. You see things that make you doubt. How is it possible in Torah in today's world? I said to them, today we live in a world where you don't have to even talk about religion. Just basic human decency. Just the values of life and a family. That's what's at stake. Are your children going to have children? Are they going to have a normal life? Are they going to understand what honesty, integrity, and beauty and dignity is? That's the battleground today. That's the challenge today. It's our children, your children, who are facing such challenges. We have doubts. But that which worked thousands of years ago is more powerful, more important, and more relevant to today's challenges. Because the Torah is eternal. You have doubts because you see reasons to question. And on a personal level, you see it on a communal level. But that emes, Moshe emes, or Sarasa emes, and that Masorah that you all have, that we all have, each one of us has a special Masorah. Today I just want to focus on something I started speaking a little bit about on Shabbos, but I want to adapt it to your community, to our community. I'm learning to become more acculturated, learn how to appreciate different types of rice. I'm learning to make progress. I'm learning to understand the culture that's something I didn't grow up in, but it's so special, it's so unique, it's so valuable to Knesset Yisrael, to Klal Yisrael, that it can't be allowed to disappear. It can't be allowed to vanish. That's why our Rabbi wanted that there should be their own leadership, a yeshiva that continues the legacy of your Masorah, that what you have from your generations, with great Mesirat Nefesh, it can't just disappear. Today's challenge is to understand that there's greatness inside of us that we don't even know. Greatness we haven't even yet uncovered. What I'm about to tell you is not my words. It's the words of Torah. It's the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu passed down through his teachers, Torah teachers, the Rishonim, the great teachers of Chumash and all that. You see how true and relevant it is. You say, whoa, I'm discovering something new. But it's not new. It's something very old. Yesterday we read about the tragic Tochacha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu predicted in very great detail of all the tragic things that were going to happen. Fortunately, we still survived many of them, but there's so much more that we saw, that the predictions came true. Why did it all happen? Why does it all happen? Pasuk very rarely gives such clarity. You read the words of Rabbi Bechaya. He says, "Tachas asher lo avadatos Hashem elokecha b'simcha b'tov lev." You want to know why Hashem punishes us you read carefully, I'll read it with you. Let's read the words. Yashimenu akasuv, Hashem is teaching us where we need to focus. What it is we need to do to avoid tragic events. Why did Hashem punish us? What is the takeaway? What's the message? Says the pastor, says the Rabbeinu B'chaya, V'avdu Hashem Yisborach. You did what Hashem asked you to do. You served Hashem. You did. It doesn't say you did Averot. It's not what you did or we did. It's our attitude or what we didn't do. These days we focus a lot on Averot we did, and we all do Averot. Adam is not a tzaddik, that Yachad Kollel, we all sin. The pasuk is teaching us an amazing strategy. Focus in not what you did wrong, but what you didn't do right. You could have done better. You could have done more. You could have elevated yourself to a new level, and Hashem holds us responsible for those things that we could have done, should have done. We had a different attitude, we had a different perspective. If you read the Rabbi Yonah and Shari Chub, and everybody should read now, read it. I know this Friday I have less time because the same slichot and it's long and it's difficult, but we have to focus. He says an amazing thing, that in a way it's harder to do tshuva for the bitul, for the non-performance of mitzvot aseh. It's a whole paragraph on it. He says the onesh of that which we don't do is worse than the avera for those things we did wrong. And I'm going to try to explain a little bit today. But again, we have to see and know what we are capable of, to be able to understand what it is we could do more. At the same time, look at what we did wrong, just don't focus on that. Change your focus and see, wait a minute, I'm here, but I could have been here. Klal Yisrael has to look and reevaluate where they need to be, what they could have done greater. And that is exactly, I think, the message Rabbeinu B'chaya says. He says, the simcha b'ma'aseh mitzvah, mitzvah b'fnei atzmo. That you have to serve Hashem with a great positive attitude. And that positive attitude has to elevate oneself to a level called elation. I feel a sense of happiness, a sense of completeness, a sense of purposefulness. That's the shmirat ha-mitzvah, the siyat ha-mitzvah has to be done with that attitude. Not only that, he says that the simcha is itself a mitzvah. Milvad haschar sheyesh lo mitzvah yesh lo schar ala simcha. You get not 2 for 1. The Yachad Tzadikim says the mitzvah you do with simcha is 100 times more precious to Hashem than a mitzvah you do perfunctorily, like a robot. Robot can do great things. Hashem wants us to do those great things. It means He wants that humanity. He wants that feeling, that connection. That feeling is a sense. I have a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He, b'chvodo v'atzmo, is asking me to do something, maybe very difficult. He's asking me to do it in my way. That your mitzvah, I'm doing the same thing. And my mitzvah, I can put the tefillin, okay, I may not wrap it like you, alright? But the way you do it determines the schar, determines the relationship. That's your mitzvah. I have to put tefillin on all too, but it's not the same mitzvah. It's a mitzvah from the guf, the lev. It has to be connected. It has to be done with simcha. It has to be done with emotion. And he says these words, "V'alkein ya'anish b'chan l'mi she'oved avodat ha'mitzvah kishlo asa b'simcha." You're missing, your absence of that emotion is an avera. It's a lack of performance. It's an imperfect. It could be a perfect physical act, but there's much more. There's a whole sefer, and the Chavot Alavavot talks exactly about this: the connection to the mitzvah, the kesher Kadosh Baruch Hu, the emotionality that one has to have when one performs it. It's all about attitude. It's all about that meaningful mindfulness and purposefulness in the performance of the mitzvah. Then he gives 3 examples in the history. I'm going to have to be mekatzer a little bit. But I'm going to read parts of it, but please, it's here. I'll leave photocopies over your shal. It's not my words. Startling, amazing words. And we know that the words of the Rishonim are very meduyak. When he says the word v'chen, it means that's the same message, the same point that he just made in the first paragraph. He's going to make an application that you see the same. And he goes through in history and he finds 3 examples. What are they? He says in Medrash Rus, Ilu Hoya Yodea Ruvain. I remember the language a little different in the Medrash, but okay. Had Ruvain known Sha'Kodesh Baruch Hu Machtiv Alav, he would write a testimonial. Shem would say and give credit to Ruvain. V'yishma Ruvain, he heard that the brothers were plotting to put Yosef and kill Yosef. And he had an idea to put him in the bor. V'yatzilehu mi'adam. And Ruvain saved Yosef. Did Ruvain save Yosef? No. Did he get sold and went on Mitzrayim? Of course, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will. But the Torah gives Ruvain credit for something that he wanted to do. He tried to do. Okay. If he would have known what the Torah was going to write about him, says the Medrash, he would have taken him out of the pit, lifted him up and put him on his shoulders and carried him back to Yaakov Avinu. So why didn't he do that? You think he was looking for the honor and the glory? This is Ruvain. I think the pshat is, he did everything he could. His brothers were concerned. This man was a rodef. He had a law, a halacha, he was planning, he had his dreams, and they understood. But there's a human capacity. You did everything you could, Ruvain, but you could have elevated yourself, Ruvain. You could have become stronger. You could have become more powerful, more vigilant, more concerned, more aware of the importance of the mitzvah. You could have elevated yourself and you could have done the impossible. You could have changed. You could have been a different person. You would have carried him. You didn't save him, but if you would have known how important this was and understand how great your actions were, you would have done more. You would have done more. That's point number 1. Second, if Aaron had known that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to certify, Hashem gave Aaron a special, I wouldn't say compliment, he said, gave him credit. And he did. He said, Moshe was afraid. My older brother is going to feel jealous if I become the melech and he's my assistant. It's not going to feel good. Hashem says, he will see you. V'racha v'samach b'libo. Why does he have the me'il, the choshen hat? Because his heart was 100% pure. No jealousy. Says the Medrash, B'sufim u'muchalot ha'yotze l'kos. So had he known what the pasuk was going to say about him, he wouldn't have just greeted his brother with a happy heart. He would have brought a whole orchestra along with him. What does that mean? That his simcha would have been more complete. Had he known how great this mitzvah was, had he known how capacity he had he known, he did everything he could. He showed as much simcha as he could. Imagine to totally be aware of your younger brother and give and told. But there's more. Aaron, you could have done more. Aaron could have raised himself up and hit a new level and hit a whole new dimension of the performance of the mitzvah. In the third and the final example, it says by Boaz. He says, had he known that the Kadosh Baruch Hu, through the Navi, was going to give him credit for giving Rus the sheaves of wheat, he would have given more. He would have given her galim, petumim, hoyamach. He would have given her roast beef, not wheat. Maybe they were vegans, I don't know. But he could have done more. Boaz, the great, he was that shofet. He was a great tzaddik. But even the great people have greatness in them that is not fully tapped. And much more so us. How much more so we, who come from such greatness, who understand that we have something that the world doesn't have, that we've held on to it with tenacity, with a sense of simcha, how we added a greater sense of simcha to our lives and to our shmirat mitzvot and our connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is so much more. Each and every one of us could perform. It's not just 3 examples. It's an example to show us this is a truth. This is a universal truth. So we number one say we have to change our focus during these days. We did bad. It's true. But we could have done more. We should have done more. It was a person came to our door and we were tired and we perhaps didn't have enough money and somebody asked us for help. Had we seen the importance of that mitzvah, we would have run, we would have called, we would have done, we should have done, and Hashem knows that. And after 120 years, He's going to say, Benzion, he came to your house, this poor Jew, and you gave him $5. You could have given him 5 times Chait, 10 times Chait. You didn't have it, you were tired. You know, we all live in a life where we see a little bit of this. I'll tell you a personal story, and forgive me, because I've been reading Chibutz Chazal. There were moments in my life, asked the Rosh Yeshiva to do different things. I just felt moments of inspiration. And we all do. We ask Hashem, please help me. Please help me. I need you to help me. This is hard for me. This is difficult for me to make tough decisions or to do, it's hard. It's very hard for Rabbi Yishal, making payroll and the building of building is very hard. A personal story. Since I'm I guess the word teenager, believe me, I was once upon a time, I was a teenager. Imagine? Okay? An American teenager. But I was learning yeshiva, and yeshiva, also can you imagine, in the 1970s it was very hard building Torah. Today is much, much easier, I'm sorry to say. Oh, yeshiva, what are you doing? What's going on here? Yeshivas, no yeshivas, what are you talking about? The Ben Torah in the 1970s was like an alien from Mars. What are you doing? What's going on here? Hacked. You're learning. What? It's very hard. It was difficult. There was a very small community of Torah people, very small. It's hard to imagine. Today you have yeshivot with thousands of talmidim. Okay? In the 1970s, I can't say exactly, but I don't think if you put all the B'nai Torah, let's say from the age of 18 and above, in this building, it'll be half empty. 200 maybe? 300? The yeshivot was small, it was very little, it was very, very raw, very foreign, alien. So it was hard, we had to raise money for the yeshiva, imagine such a thing. I went to Atlanta, Georgia. To help the yeshiva raise some money. And it was very hard, $5 and $10. And, I see from the other end, people, buy, see a teenage kid, what's he selling? Okay, but they're Southerners, are very polite, okay? So okay. The rabbi of the community, Rabbi Emanuel Feldman, who should live and be well, a very special Jew, son of should live and be well, is now the Rav of the shul. He said to me, Benzion, he says, there's an old age home downtown, and there's a Jew there by the name of Mr. Gold. And you're going to go, he says, I know you Chait family, they play guitar. Go play for them, give them a little chizuk. And okay, I went down, I played. It was very depressing because these were 5th generation Americans. Totally assimilated. Totally. Didn't know anything. not a Hebrew word, not a Yiddish word. Farsi, never heard of the word Farsi. I was like hitting a wall. Generations, I said, what is going on here? And I finished, I played, I was ready to get out of there, but the rabbi said to me, he says, let's see, when you go down, please speak to Mr. Gold. Please speak to Mr. Gold. And I asked the nurse, I said, is Mr. Gold here in this room? He says, Mr. Gold never comes out of his room. He stays in his room by himself. He's that room up there, the 3rd floor. Gives me the room number. It's hard enough being depressed by watching these people. Okay, I have to go up to a room to a hermit, a recluse. The rabbi's a nice man, that Torah, but at 18 years old I wasn't so interested. But it's not nice. He asked me, right? I have to do it. I went up to the room, knock on the door. There's a woman sitting on the bed. You can see the way she's dressed. She's not religious at all. I said, Mrs. Gold, a big smile, yes, can I help you? What I said and I saw afterwards, it shook me so much that so many years later, I still remember it like it just happened. I said, Mrs. Gold, is Mr. Gold here? Her face, the light turned off. She was light, bright, happy as somebody came to visit her. I'm not coming to her, I'm coming for her husband. And with such disdain, anger, she points her finger like that, he's over there. So, what's over there? I see somebody, I see the back of somebody. Okay? So I said, Mr. Gold. He doesn't hear me. I said, okay, I tried to leave. I'm out of here. It's not nice. Rabbi asks you. Before I knew the word dat Torah. It's not nice. Rabbi asks you. Come a little closer. Mr. Gold. He doesn't hear me. Okay, that's it. I tried twice. Tova shnayim min echad. Nice. Try one more step. Go with everything. Go ahead. Don't give up. I go and I say, very close to Mr. Gold, he turns around. And I see the face of a malach. Bright, burning eyes. He's opening his page of Gemara. He's learning Menachot. It's not easy reading. It's before our scroll, right? He's working on the Gemara Menachot. And his eyes are shining from Torah. He's 94 years old. So what is this? In this background of emptiness, nothingness, okay? There's this man who's learning. His wife is not religious. I found out later his children weren't religious. I found out later on he didn't even get a kosher burial. I said, I gotta talk to this man. I said, where you come from? Where are you from? He said, I come from a little city you probably never heard of. I said, tell me, where was it? He said, I came from a city called Radin. Radin. He says, and I'm telling you something you have to know. That I am religious today, learning Torah today, because there was a Jew in that city who I saw, who whenever I want to give up, his vision, his image, shakes me. And I say, I can't give up. I can't give up. And he says, probably a Jew you never heard of. I said, who was it that made such an impression on you? He says, a Jew by the name of Yisrael Meir Kagan. I said, you saw the Chavetz Chaim? He didn't even know why it was such a big deal. Okay, I'm telling you this story. So he says to me, if you saw that face, you saw that past that I came from, you would never give up what you have. Couldn't do it. My family doesn't know it. Nobody. I came here, I was 17 years old. And I will never give up. Lo yomush mi picha mi pi zaracha. Because unfortunately it didn't pass to his children. Couldn't do it. Okay? He didn't have that schut. Something special. Okay? So he says, what are you doing here? And I told him I'm here to perform for the people downstairs. He says, could you play me a song? So I'm jogging my memory. What could be the oldest song I could play for this man that maybe he could relate to? Okay, so I was a fan of Shlomo Carlebach. And one of his first songs that he wrote in the maybe late 1950s, early 1960s, Esa Einai Helaharim. I'm not going to sing it to you. Take a deep breath. Esa Einai Helaharim. So he says, can you translate that pasuk for me? What this man learned and saw the Chofetz Chaim. He's asking me to translate the pasuk for him. There must be a message here. Nothing happens unless there's a reason. Hashem is constantly challenging us to grow, to become bigger, to become greater. I said to him, the way I understood the pasuk, I sang it. I lift up. I know I promised I wasn't going to sing, but it's English, so don't worry. I lift up mine eyes. That's the way he said it. Up to the heavens. From where comes my salvation? I thought I did a good job, right? He says, I heard from my Rabbi, the Chofetz Chaim, a different interpretation. I'm going to share this with you. Esa Einai Helaharim. I lift up my eyes to my great teachers. Harim are the mountains, but they're the great teachers. More profound message of stability, to stay within your Masorah, to follow where you come from, and don't give up. But he said, but the word me'ayin, that's not the way he translated it. Me'ayin doesn't mean from where. His me'ayin means from nowhere. Efes. Me'ayin yobo ezri. When you have nowhere to turn, Hashem says, call me, I'm coming. When you need help for health reasons, and you have a doctor, you don't need me. Call your doctor. But when you know that the doctor can't help you, and you know that you need my help, Yobo Ezri, I'm here for you. The Ashkenazim say, I'm sure we have some other versions, but most of the things we say, you said before us. We say, Kidali l'charashim defakna delatecha. Baruch Shalom, I'm knocking on the door. I have nothing. Tao. I have nothing. I need you. I'm standing before the Yom Hadin, and I have nothing. And I need your help. Hashem says, Yovo Ezra, I'm there for you. I will not abandon you. But you have to know that you totally need me. You also have to know, this is more important right now, that you deserve to be helped. That you're worthy of being helped. Because I can't knock on the door unless I know that someone's receptive to answer the door. This kochot hanefesh, we are needing to understand how great we are. Hashem wants us to knock on the door because He wants to help us. He's waiting for us to knock on the door. He's begging us, come to me. Yovo Ezra, I want to help you. Me? I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody. That's true. But you're my son. You're my child. I love you more than you know. And I want to give you everything you ask for and then some. You open up your mouth and I will fill it with more than you ever dreamt of. That's how much I love you. That's how much I want you to feel that simcha of the mitzvah, because you should see their gifts. They're given specifically to you. Uniquely to you, because you're unique. You're mine. And I love you. And I appreciate you. And I love the Masorah that you come from. And I don't want to see it disappear. And I love you as individuals. I love you as a klal. And I love you as a prat. And I need you to come to me. And I want you to come to me. I need you, kaviyachol. I know what that means. But that's what Chazal say. I heard this from our Rabbi. It's just mind-boggling. That the yesod of tshuva, David HaMelech said this, is ura kivodi. Let my kavod, what's my kavod? The greatness that lies inside of me, or ira shachar, let that lift me up. Let that understand that I'm a somebody, that I have special powers, more than I know. That I have a relationship that's deeper than I understand. That Hashem wants me, He in a sense needs me to do. We have to create what we call a balanced diet. It's true we have to stop eating things that we shouldn't eat, or saying things we're not supposed to say, or looking at things we shouldn't look at. That's true, absolutely true. But Hashem wants us to have more positive attitude. He wants us to taste Ta'amur Uki Tov Hashem. We can't use the word delicacy. The deliciousness of each mitzvah. The beauty of every single act. I want to end with a challenge. And it's not my words. It's actually, you'll probably understand this a lot better than me because it's not in Hebrew. Okay? The pasuk, the psukim we say it every day, we're supposed to remember. We're supposed to remember Yetziat Mitzrayim. We're supposed to remember Kriyat Yam Suf. We say these words, but do they really resound inside of us? Let me read it. Let's read. Oz Yosher Moshe B'nai Yisrael. Let's just go back. They didn't practice this song. They didn't have a choir practice when they left Mitzrayim. They didn't have food. They went out, right? This song was spontaneous. It happened from the neshama of each and every Jew that stood there. Millions of Jews sang in unison these words. Okay? Hashiv Hashem ki ga'al ga'al sus v'rachor v'yam aziv v'zimbadya v'ayil Yeshua. Then the next words. Zeh keli v'anveyu. This, when I say this, with the specific, they could point and they could see the Hiskalut HaShekhinah. They saw that creation of that love. They saw the personification of that love Hashem has for us individually. B'chlal u'b'frat. They saw it. And they said, Zeh keli v'anveyu. I'm not going to translate it. I'll let the uncles translate it. The uncle says, allow me to get my glasses on. Which means, gentlemen, that these words that we're going to read, we all stood there and we said them, we sang them. Remember, spontaneously, it came out of us. It was natural. It was intrinsic. It was part of us. What were the words we said? V'amra b'memra v'have li l'forok dein elokah. This is my God. Ve'evne le mikdasha elokah de'avotai ve'eflach kadmoi. Two fascinating things. The Evne means I am going to build for him. Mikdasha, that's a Beis HaMikdash. V'anvehu means beauty. There is no beauty beyond the perfect beauty except the Beit HaMikdash, where you see the magnificence of Hashem's Shekhinah. That's the ultimate beauty. V'anvehu, I'm going to build it. The Avotai. Remember what he says. It's not my God. It's the God of my fathers. My relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is through my Mesorah. It's through that I'm taught by my parents, my Rabbi, my teachers, my great-great-great-great-grandparents going back to Sinai, going back to this Kriyat Yamsuf. What did we say? So the Chavetz Chaim asks, what do you mean? What did we say? I'm going to build a Beit HaMikdash? Okay, if I had the Shlomo Melech's time, I could do that. If I had the mitzvah bedek abayit, then I could do that. Today, in Radin, that city where he lived, that this man saw him, Radin, in Los Angeles, I'm going to build a Beit HaMikdash. I'm going to build a Beit HaMikdash. What does that mean? So the Chavetz Chaim says an amazing thought. There is greatness inside of us that has a tshuka, a desire for ruchaniyut, that's so powerful that I can say, Hashem, I want to build your Beit HaMikdash. I said it, I feel it. That's me. That's part of me. It comes out in moments of elation, in moments of great simcha. I feel that. I feel that. So how does one do that? It's by supporting yeshivot, Torah learning, by helping the Kollel, by helping Rabbi Levi Chaim with doing such beautiful work. Each and every one learning in the Kollel, helping the Kollel. V'ana evne mishkana mikdasha, says the Chavetz Chaim. Each Bet Midrash is a mikdash ma'at. That's the way we do it. Supporting Torah, learning Torah, connecting to our Baruch Hu b'simcha, to do it. Imagine Hashem comes over to you and says to you, I want you Yehuda, to build me a Beis HaMikdash. He already has a Kollel. Build me a Beis HaMikdash. He can't do it. This, Onkelos is saying, it's in him. It's in your child. It's in you. It's in your genes. It's in your DNA. Persians, Ashkenazim, who knows, Chinese. It's all the Jews. It's all Knesset Yisrael. Together to build that Beis HaMikdash. Personally, individually, by supporting Torah, by learning Torah. But there has to be the Lakad Avutai. You say it was a challenge. It wasn't such a challenge. I saw my Rabbi. How could I not listen to him? I saw his Rabbi, because he always talked about it. I saw a sense of connection to Sinai. You have a connection. Every one of us, it's not one. It's a Mesorah that each one of us has. And yours is special. Yours is pure and beautiful, and it brings a connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu that you have to transmit to your children. In your way. Because that's your emet. We stand together to build, to do, to accomplish, to perform the mitzvot b'simcha. A simcha that's so effusive, but it's so uplifting. Mitzvot that are done b'simcha, build. That's how you build a Beit HaMikdash. You don't build it by self-deprecation and criticism. Of course you need to criticize. But the biggest criticism is not what you did wrong, but what you could have done better. You could have built a Beit HaMikdash. You can. And you will. And that's why we have to focus our energies into doing more, into being better, into being greater. But through our growth, we create a sense of community, a strength, and uplift. We can bring our whole families and our community up. You and your chavruta, and you and your family, and expanding those circles and those horizons. But only through the Elokad Avutai, through the Mesorah. Ashreinu matov chalkeinu. Look at the great zchut we have to be part of Knesset Yisrael, to be the builders, to be those leaders that took. Bezalel was 13 years old. Could he do it? You ask him, could he do it? And the answer is no. But he had this zchut of following the Emunat Chachamim and doing that Torah and knowing if Hashem's asking me to do it, I have to try. Hashem will make it happen. Nothing we can do. Nothing. Now you ship out nothing. The leader doesn't help us. But you have to try. You have to spend sleepless nights. Even more. You have to try even harder. You have to, get building permits. It's a headache. But you keep trying and Hashem's going to make it happen. Nisan, we live on Nisan. And it's more clear today than ever. Nisan Bloom today, I heard a story, one of our branches, some guy just walked over and says, I have a building for you. They've been struggling for years. Beautiful property. The guy has no connection to anything. He wants to build inside his neshama. I said to him, is he religious? Not shomer shah. Nothing. But he also wants to build a Beit HaMikdash. People they want to connect. It's inspiring. It's uplifting. Zeh Keli B'Arbeil. It's a tremendous attitude to have for the Yomim Hadin. When we mamlech HaKadosh Baruch Hu on us, we can. He wants us, He needs us, and we have the capacity to do so much more. Kadosh Baruch Hu should bless us with great success. All our tefillot that we say b'simcha. Rabbi Yishal remembers better because he spent a lot of time with the Rosh Hashiva. A few times, Yomim Hadin. I had this thought this morning. When I heard him pray, I was shocked. I think he'd be crying, he'd be wailing. The whole time he's singing. Singing. Shmoa el harina bela tefillah. There's a joy, it's a simcha that we can connect. Hashem loves us. He wants us to be better. He wants us to be stronger. He wants to be more. I'm going to sing. Look how much He loves me. Look at the opportunities He gives me. I should do that with simcha. When somebody asks you for tzedakah, somebody asks you for a chesed, Hashem, you want me to help you in whatever way I can? What a great joy! I want to do everything for you. I want to build your Beit HaMikdash. One chesed at a time. One mitzvah at a time. One higher level at a time. It's a slow and gradual process. But ultimately, we should see the binyan, shlema, soon in our days. And the capacity to make that happen. is right here, right now. Shana Tova, and thank you very much.
Wow.